Field research on the use of mesh netting to control insect pests shows the netting can prevent crop damage for growers of cabbage and other crops. In trials, the netting successfully blocked access to the plants by the cabbage fly. This insect lays its eggs on the stem of newly planted seedlings, and the maggot feeds on the roots, devastating the crop. The fly maggot can wipe out a field in a matter of days with no real cure for the problem. A netting project in a field of organic rutabagas on Prince Edward Island, involving agriculture and Agri-Food Canada research, and a local farm partner produced positive results.
We were really quite impressed by the control that the netting provided against the cabbage root maggot. We grew about 2 acres or so underneath the net, and we had a control plot of maybe 60 square feet or something, quite small. But essentially everything in the control plot was destroyed by the cabbage root maggot. Underneath the netting, however, we found very little damage at all.
The research has pinpointed the need for the netting to go on before the cabbage fly lays its eggs, covering the entire field with netting with no gaps to allow flies access to the crop, but enough room for the crop to grow. The netting can be applied manually in small field operations, but larger fields require equipment, particularly for removal. The equipment is available and is reusable.
They typically cost around between $6,000 and $8,000 for the implement itself, and then you have to purchase the netting material in addition to that. As far as the cost of the netting material, it depends on the size of the roll. The rolls that we used, I believe, were 15 meters wide by 100 meters long, about $2,000. But it may seem initially a high expense, but the intent is to reuse them for as many years as you can. So, you know, every time you can reuse them, it reduces your cost significantly. This machine is typically used for retrieval of the insect netting at the end of the growing season. Basically a big winder or a big spool that attaches to the tractor, and you hook on, you feed the material on from the field, and this particular unit will haul it in from the end of the field. It's basically the same principle as a screen, like on your screen door, but it's sized to keep particular pests out of crops, like the cabbage maggot. You have to be a little careful when you're applying it, for sure, and retrieving it, because it's, you know, pretty intensive pulling and manipulation going on to get that stuff off of the crop. But you know, it does seem to be pretty tough, and that's the key. If you're gentle enough to make it last for a few years, then the more you use it, the less it costs.
Researchers are still looking at weed control options. With some adjustments, weed pressure underneath the netting can be controlled. The netting system offers a mechanical rather than spray approach to pest control and has the potential to shield other crops from pest damage. Successful tests were conducted in Nova Scotia in cauliflower plots using different thicknesses of netting. Mesh from 0.3 millimeters to 1.3 millimeters work well in keeping the fly out and even provided protection against other insect pests. Reaction to the concept has been positive, particularly in the organic sector. The project results have been shared with industry with the aim of a large-scale adoption of the netting system.